Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles, but we got some breaking news. It looks like it might be game over for TikTok. For realsies this time. Maybe. I don't know. Does anybody even know what's going on with TikTok now? Does anybody even know what the hell is actually going on with TikTok? So we're one step closer to it getting shut down for good on Sunday. The ban was upheld by the Supreme Court. And unless Trump steps in, if Trump can step in and buy it more time, it's done. It's over. And it's not even a matter of finding a buyer here in the U.S. As I understand the situation, it's about whether or not ByteDance is willing to sell the app to a U.S. company, because we do know that the algorithm doesn't come with it. And there are security concerns. And if somebody here in the U.S. would buy TikTok and then they find out that, yeah, they've been feeding information to the CCP, that could be very, very bad. So they might not be willing to sell it. Doesn't matter how many people you have lined up. People are like, oh, Mr. Beast will take it. Elon Musk will take it. The Shark Tank guy will take it. Lots of people will take TikTok because it's a valuable piece of digital real estate. But whether or not they're willing to sell it, that is a whole nother issue. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. This has come from the Hollywood Reporter. TikTok ban upheld by Supreme Court in ruling transforming digital media landscape. The ruling is expected to go down as amongst the most consequential court decision of the digital media age. In a ruling that will ripple across digital media. Man, so dramatic. The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld a law effectively subjecting TikTok to a national ban on Sunday, absent an 11th hour lifeline from President-elect Donald Trump, who has said he can reach a deal to rescue the app. The massively popular social media platform used by roughly half the country will be shut down. Yeah, this is kind of unprecedented. Like usually when they shut an app down, it's because, hey, it's not popular, or hey, it got sold. It's not like, yeah, it's potentially breaking the law, and it doesn't matter how big it is, we're just going to pull the plug on it. The justices in a ruling issued Friday concluded the law isn't in direct conflict with the First Amendment because it's aimed at TikTok's ownership of a company alleged to be controlled by China rather than its free speech rights. The law directs ByteDance, the app's parent company, to sell TikTok by January 19th. If not, web hosting services and mobile app stores will be barred from carrying TikTok. So yeah, again, a lot of people thought stupidly, naively, that they would be able to still watch the old TikTok content. Because I guess they did that with Vine. I'm trying to remember. We'll talk a little bit about Vine too. But when they shut Vine down, I think they still let the content out there for a while before they just pulled the plug on the app, if I remember correctly. So you could still access Vine content. You just couldn't make any new Vine content. There's no doubt that for more than 170 million Americans, TikTok offers a distinctive and expansive outlet for expression, means of engagement, and source of community, the justices wrote in their ruling. But Congress has determined that divestiture is necessary to address its well-supported national security concerns regarding TikTok's data collection practices and relationship with a foreign adversary. For the foregoing reasons, we conclude that the challenge provisions do not violate petitioners' First Amendment rights. With more than 150 million American monthly active users, the app has been integrated into American culture to an extraordinary degree. It's by far the leading video sharing app in the country in terms of attracting and holding users' attention. Yes, it's got a very addictive algorithm. That is by design. The ban will disrupt the income streams of hundreds of thousands of creators. Meta and Google are already moving to fill in the short-form video void left by TikTok, with the companies expected to see huge spikes in their ad businesses. Ahead of the ruling, there were murmurs that Trump, whose term begins the day after the ban takes effect, would issue an executive order suspending enforcement of the shutdown for up to 90 days, though the legal avenue he can take remains unknown. Can he? I don't know if he can. If he does, if Trump intervenes, guess who's probably going to wind up walking off with TikTok? It's going to be Mr. Musk. You know it is, right? You know it's going to be his buddy Elon. Elon will get it. Last month, he filed a friend of the court brief to look to delay implementation of the law, saying he could find a solution that would balance national security and First Amendment considerations posed by the ban. Overall, he signaled his support for TikTok's opposition to the law, which he said exercises an extraordinary power in effectively shutting down a massively popular platform critical to free speech. They're talking about how they think it's a security threat and yada, 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 yada. So where does this leave people? Where does this leave everybody? I don't know. So this is coming from the Washington Post, the WAPO. They're very angry that Jeff Bezos wants to pivot back to center, but they're like, all these people are going to be displaced, right? We've got TikTokers putting their last TikToks up. They're so upset. I get it. I mean, it would basically be like, it would basically crying and dancing at the same time. I get it. It would be like if YouTube just suddenly went dark. But the thing is there was warning, right? I mean, it wasn't like it's kind of like the slow moving steamroller in Austin Powers. You have plenty of time to get out of the way. I mean, they've been talking about banning TikTok for 2 or 3 years now. And I just don't think people thought it was going to happen. And the weird thing is as TikTok is looking at this ban, they're actually trying to get people to like sign up for TikTok and for different services. Like we were getting hit with emails. We don't have a huge presence on TikTok. I think we have like 30 or 40,000 followers over there, which, in TikTok terms is like nothing. But we don't really update over there very much. But they were trying to get us to, like link our store to TikTok, and they want us to do like, I don't know if they have like paid memberships or some crap like that. And we were getting emails just a couple of days ago for that. Like even TikTok was in denial that TikTok was going to get shut down. It's so damn weird. But this comes from the Washington Post. They said, as TikTok ban looms, Vine stars are offering their advice for surviving the fallout. And a lot of these people jump to YouTube, or they did jump to TikTok after, and Vine was just ahead of its time, apparently. Like if they just stuck it out, they probably would have been okay. Everything probably would have been fine, right? But anyway, so yeah, they're talking about platforms that burn brighter disappeared faster. Very few have done that other than Vine from 2012 to 2017. I don't even remember it being around 2012. Vine, I remember like a year or two. I want to say like 2015, 2016, and then it just died. But they said, yeah, they launched the careers of people such as Shawn Mendes, Liza Koshy, King Bach, and Jake and Logan Paul. They were from Vine. I didn't know that. What began as a hub for silly looping clips evolved into a proving ground for creativity, birthing viral memes and catchphrases like on fleek that transcended the medium. Became the skeleton framework for TikTok, and its biggest creators toured the country, hosted meet and greets, and felt unstoppable until Vine's collapse in 2017. Failure to monetize it and its sale to Twitter left the platform in ruins and creators scrambling to adapt. But here's the thing. They already have Vine. They already have it, right? Twitter already has it. They could turn it back on. They literally could just turn Vine back on, couldn't they? And say, hey, Vine's back. Come back over to Vine. Like Elon doesn't have to buy anything, does he? He could just say, hey, we've got X Vine now. Just come back. I'm just saying, like, why would you pay for TikTok when you've already got Vine? And it's literally the same thing. It's just shorter videos. So now TikTok creators are facing a chilling deja vu. With the app under threat of being banned in the US, anxieties are mounting. For many, TikTok isn't just a platform, it's a livelihood. Former Viners who lived through the rise and fall of one short-form video app are sharing their hard-earned wisdom, how to prepare for the worst, the mistakes to avoid, and how to protect what you built when your platform starts to crumble. Here's the problem. The problem with social media. It's a double-edged sword, right? The audience is there. And if you're on a platform that somebody else owns, you have access to that audience looking for content, and you can ride the wave, right? You don't have to build it yourself. The double-edged sword of that is you don't own the platform, so they do something stupid or they shut down, you're screwed. And we kind of saw this with, not to bring it back to, we talked about webcomics because we started out doing webcomics. And it used to be back in the day, if you did webcomics, you had to host your own site. There's a lot of work that went into it. You had to have some technical knowledge, and it was hard. And you had to pay money every month for hosting and all that stuff. You had to pay money to advertise your comic. And then Webtoon came along, and Webtoon decided, hey, we're going to make it really easy and free for people to upload their comics, and you might get found. And a lot of people did build sizable audiences on Webtoon, bigger audiences than they would have built if they went out on their own. The double-edged sword of that is once in my opinion, once Naver decided that they wanted to push their own content over these indie creators, these especially Western creators, then everybody else's comic kind of got shoved to the bottom of the pile, and they just started pushing who they wanted to push. And it was all about building the platform up, building numbers up to get the Hollywood deals. That's what the end game for Webtoon always was. And so then they took the safety net away. They had a monetization program, which we were part of, and they basically would throw you a couple of bucks a month for advertising, and then they would put some money in your Patreon account. And it was okay. It was like, in our case, it was reruns, and we were getting a couple $1,000s a month to just rerun our comic. So it wasn't bad. But then they took that away too. So they took the safety net away. So, what I'm saying is this happens a lot, and you need to work on, you should always have your own, even if it's not your primary place to post your content, you should always have your own website. You should always have your own home base. You really need to look at, I think now, having newsletters and stuff like that to keep in contact with people, because any of these sites could go dark at it for any reason. The algorithm can change, and Google can just be like, yeah, we don't like your stuff anymore. It happened with websites too. They're just like, yeah, we don't like your stuff anymore. But people were like, yeah, save all your content. Some people here, they went and got day jobs. Some people made the transition to TikTok. This guy here says, save your content, download every video you have, even the ones in your drafts. He suggested reposting high-performing videos on Instagram Reels once a year. If it worked once, odds are it'll work again. Well, people are having a problem with that. They don't want to post on Instagram because they think Mark Zuckerberg is a Nazi. They think the Jewish man is a Nazi. Go figure, right? That's where we're at. They said, yeah, start a Patreon. I don't trust Patreon either, but they said start a Patreon or other crowd funding technique and play local shows and meet people. At the end of this platform, that network of friends will remain. A lot of these people, the Vine people, are like, hey, everything ends, but it ends quick. And I kind of wondered, if they shut TikTok down, can these people make the jump? You might have a small percentage of them make the leap to other platforms, but the audiences are different. And I know YouTube keeps pushing shorts. They're not pushing shorts as much as they used to. And the shorts audience is very different than the TikTok audience. I think, because you're getting a different demographic on YouTube, and a lot of people just aren't going to make the jump. I think Instagram is probably your better bet, because that seems like it's got the right crossover. But again, a lot of people not going to post there because they don't like the stuff that Mark Zuckerberg's saying. I don't know what to tell you, right? It's hard. And every content creator, regardless of platform, and this includes us too, you have to look at it in an end game. What is your end game? What is your exit strategy? Do you have an exit strategy? Because nothing lasts forever. And I think there are a lot of people, even on YouTube, that don't realize that nothing lasts forever. And there's an ebb and flow to these things. And you got to have a plan B. You got to have another career lined up or something. But it's going to be a hard dose of reality, I think, for a lot of people. And I'm sorry, I really am. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.